Hi there. In this video we'll be covering, should I write a book on paper or computer? The writing process is all about getting the words out however you can. And in this video I'll share some of my favorite strategies. By the end of this video you will learn the power of writing your words by hand, along with other tactics like using a computer program, or even a way to get the words out while you're walking or taking a drive. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. So you're writing a book. It's an amazing thing, it's an awesome thing, and you're trying to figure out the best way to get the words out. The reality is, whatever process works for you is great. Now, I work with people as a book ghostwriter to help them bring their books forward, and at this point I've written or ghostwritten more than 30 books, mostly with other people, and it's interesting to see how each person has a different, unique approach to writing. Some people will go to the coffee shop and write page after page after page and then put it later. Some people will sit in front of their keyboard and type away. It really depends. Other times I will work with somebody, we'll have a meeting and talk through different things. So whatever works for you is great. I don't want you to limit yourself and think that there's a right way or a wrong way to write a book. There really isn't. It's really open-ended and self-guided, and whatever works best, whatever is the best way for you and the best process for you, go with it. There's a special connection between writing things out and the paper. You're feeling it. There's a touch element. There's a connection with your brain that really works differently. It's so fascinating to be able to write by hand. I myself have the just worst handwriting ever. It's just gibberish. I remember when I was in school as a kid and getting A's in every subject except the C in handwriting, because handwriting was the worst for me. But even so, it can be so great to sit down with a piece of paper and just start writing and see where the story goes, see where the story takes you. It can be so powerful to free write and just let yourself be moved and pulled in by the story and go in whatever direction takes you and have no parameters in place. And then later kind of figure it out. Look at what you've done, what you've written, go through it, see if there's anything in there that's usable. A lot of times when I'm really struggling with a piece of writing or an element of a story, I'll sit down with a pen and paper and just see where the story takes me and just start free writing and see if there's any elements that poke out. I'll really focus on the style and focus on the storytelling and focus on just these stylistic elements, and it's so powerful to see these things connect and intertwine. And maybe it's just a little phrase that pops out that you say, this is something, I really want to keep this. Sometimes it doesn't even get used there. You kind of just save it for later. But it can be so powerful and so inspiring to sit there with the pen and paper. The other thing to keep in mind with pen and paper is, unless you're using specific apps and programs, and there are some that do connect to uploading, most of the time when you do write on a pen and paper, you're going to have to type it in eventually. It can be great to get that first draft down by hand and then go back and kind of edit it as you type it into the computer. Typing it in using a program is going to happen eventually. At some point, you're going to have to put this into either Microsoft Word, Google, some other program. People use Scrivener sometimes. You're going to have to do that at some point because the typical process for publication does involve programs like that one. Microsoft Word is the most commonly used program, word processing program for books. And a lot of times when you have that draft, even if you have it in another format, the people that you work with, your editors or somebody else, may end up importing your document into Microsoft Word just because it's easier for them to use in the editing process. So at some point it's going to have to filter down into some program. During the writing process, you can figure out when that time comes. Maybe it's at the very end, and maybe it's much sooner. But it can be great to get words down in Microsoft Word or another similar program as well. One of the best tools for book writing and getting words quickly is to use a voice-to-text transcription program. I actually use two different ones. I use Otter and Rev. They're both online. They're both amazing. You can upload audio to them, and within minutes, you can have a transcript of the text. It's not 100%, you have to kind of go through and make sure it's as clean and refined as possible, but it's great to be able to get words down, especially if you're struggling to get words onto the page. You can take a walk or take a drive and just record yourself talking through different elements of your story, and use that text, that automatic transcription text, as a baseline for your chapters. If you're somebody who really is a great storyteller in talking through things, but not so great in terms of sitting there and typing, voice-to-text transcription could be great for you. If you want to learn more about should I write a book on paper or computer, you'll definitely want to check out another video I recorded. I'll link to it on the screen. It's called How to Publish a Book. In that video, I cover the entire book writing, production, and publication process from beginning to end. I share a lot of the tips and strategies that I've learned along the way and things that I think would be really helpful for you. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.